back to another Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Today we have with us the Lexus RC 350 F-Type. Now, not to be confused, yes, the Lexus RC has a 200T, a 350, a 350 F-Type, a 200 F-Type, and then there's a regular F-Type. So, for all those looking for a good performance and luxury car at the same time, I think this is your best bet. All because one, Lexus retains exactly what it stands for with its luxury, as you will see inside, but it also has an aggressive performance street outline with this entire package. So as you can see right here, one of the first things that I like about the Lexus RC is this grille. Now I'll be honest, I am not a fan 100% of this grille on every Lexus model that's out there, but it stands out and it works perfectly for this. The sedans, which I'll throw a picture up real quickly, some may like them. I'm not a fan of it on there, but I am on this. The Lexus 350 F-Type is part of the competing package with BMW in their 4 Series, Mercedes in their 3 Series, and I believe Audi in its A4. Does it compete with all of them? Yes, it does. Because number one, besides BMW, it is a 2-door roadside car. So one of the perfect things that we like, as you can see here, is this dynamic layout for the lights. Like, the front of the car is retained aggressive. No matter what you go into with this package, it is aggressive. I don't care if you get the 200, the 350, or the F-Type. The front end is aggressive, and it's one of the things that really caught my attention back. And I think when they came out in 2015, at that time I was struggling between either the Challenger or this, and the Challenger just kind of fit in my budget, let's be honest. This now is perfectly within my budget as years has gone on, and it is a beautiful, beautiful car. I feel that the performance outlined in this car is great because there are 3 different modes that come with the F-Type. You don't get that in the regular model, but you do in the F-Type. So as we swing this camera around for a little bit, and we come to the side of the vehicle. The side of the vehicle, again, retains its performance aggressive package. You have your F-Sport badge right here, which is on all of the F-Type models, and the curvature of this body is great. Now we come around to the back. Alright, so as we come to the back of the car, distinctively, you can tell these tail lights right here. These tail lights stand out. They come out and they bulge out to give the car an even more an aggressive stance. And then when those lights come on, they look really well at night. I think one thing that I love about the entire package, no matter which car you get, that if you are looking for a slimline, aggressive looking car, and I know I keep using the word aggressive, and that's because when I think Lexus, I think luxury. I think luxury sedan. And even on their SC430 convertibles, I still thought luxury and it wasn't performance. So I love the stance on this, and I love the overall dynamic of the Lexus RC model. Regardless of which one you can afford, the 350, the 200, or the F-Type, you're getting yourself into a great car. Oh, and last but not least, this right here, it's a great ordeal. I think when they packaged this car and they thought about sleekness and lines and giving all those aerodynamic features that, you know, make a car continue to keep the airflow over as much as possible, I think they did right by that. Alright, so let's talk about a little bit of specs on this vehicle. This is a rear-wheel drive 8-speed automatic transmission with manual mode. You're looking at a double wishbone suspension, 311 horsepower, and a V6 premium unleaded engine with 277 pounds of torque. Alright, so as we get ready to get into the interior of the car, I'm gonna change one thing that I've heard when reviewing this car. Yes, this is a 2-door car. No, it is not meant for true full-size adults. However, I've gotten full-size adults in here, and my sons have been in here. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you him in here. But for what it's worth, let's talk about this. The seat. It automatically moves up. Now, I've heard people say that it takes a truly long time, and yes, it is a little slow movement on its own, but it's done. It's not like a full 30, 45 seconds to a minute. And we'll showcase it here. And then I'll just pop it. So now you can see the seat is closing back, and my son is in there just fine. Now, that seat is going all the way back, which it normally won't, but as you can see, it stopped. As soon as it hit his knees, it recognized it and it came back up. So there's a lot of little features in here. So if someone does sit back there and the seat is automatically going back, it hits their knees, it recognizes it, and it comes up until there's room. So now that on this glorious scorching day in Texas, we're inside of the interior, we can go over a few things real quickly. And this is the part of this aggressive sports car that I can say really truly defines who Lexus still is, and that is pure luxury. The handcrafted materials of things like the analog clock really set this aside, because it could have been digital just like anything else. They retained an actual CD/DVD player in here, but I still have Bluetooth, navigation. You have all the things that you would have right now, and not to mention the leather, the stitching of the seats, and the stitching that goes along the door panels. Everything in this car still screams luxury. You have a performance size wheel, also with the F-Type sports badge located on it. Again, if you get a sports F-Type, you will always be able to have the package deal that has all the F emblems on it. So one of the coolest features that I like to have about this car is that there's a push button start. You also have a sunroof to come along with it, and a lot of things are, again, those little soft touches that make you say, okay, yes, I'm still sitting in a Lexus. It's not a hard drive. The suspension feels great. Everything is like really light push between the lights, which I need to turn off. And then just given the fact that when you're driving, the cabin still sounds vaguely light. You can't hear a lot of noise outside. And even when you're driving this thing hard, you really can't hear it. There is a mode that allows you to let in more engine noise, which I really like, because again, this thing really has a meaty tone to it from an engine. Like, you wouldn't expect it within this vehicle, but it's there. I mean, we're gonna talk about the next thing that I like here. All right, so the panel that really makes this F-Type stand out is this right here. You have an eco mode, which I will tell you is really good. We drove from Houston back to our house, and I did it in a good full tank of gas, and I had a lot left when I came back, because this eco mode is like your everyday wake up, I'm going to work, coming home, driving around the city mileage. But there is something interesting that you get once you hit that F-Type. With the turn of the dial, your car turns into sports mode, which is great. Then you can go again, and it turns your car into sport mode plus. And the aspiration of this car really comes to life after that. It just, man, the suspension stiffens, the acceleration is a lot more. I mean, you get a very, very big pull and difference in your drive terrain than you do when it's sitting in eco mode. One other feature in this vehicle is this mouse pad. Like, this is very sensitive, but I mean, it gets you to your options. I don't know if I would recommend doing this again in another vehicle. It is different than having that scroll wheel that you're used to having in most Lexus, but there's a haptic feedback every time you go over a menu. But yeah, it's a little weird to get used to. Ready? Mm-hmm. So, as I was saying, you don't think that you're in this sports car that's low to the ground, because you can't really feel it. You feel it if you're getting in the vehicle, because you know it's a little bit lower versus any other car that you may have or may have had in the past, but you don't know it when driving. That's one of the best things about this. Like, you can really return to a normal day of work, doing whatever you're doing, or if you're out on a Friday night and you ended up in some car club somewhere, you can show off. You get the best of both worlds for it. My wife, she'll jump in, drive to the store, things of that nature. Me, I get in, I'm prepared for track days no matter what I'm doing. So you can feel kind of a pull when you change. And what I was saying previously about sports mode, right now it's in eco mode. As we get around some bends, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of see if you can hear this a little bit in the change in dynamics. And I mean the change in dynamics from eco mode to sports. So here's eco mode's full press. It takes some time to get up. I mean, it just does. I'm gonna slow back down here and I'm gonna put it in sports. Now listen. Like, it screams that it wants to go more. And that's just sports mode. Sports mode plus is even more. And right now, since I got this camera holder guy in the car with me, I don't want to slam him into the seat, because to me, sports plus mode, no matter how you tap it, it gives a good pull. I like it. So, you know, we talking over 300 horses when you get the F-type model. If you do go with the 350, of course you don't get that with the 200, but you do get certain things like sport mode and sport mode plus when you get an F-type, no matter which engine size you get. Yeah, I like it. There are two different ways of transmission. You have paddle shifting, which really goes well when you're in sports mode. If you don't feel like doing the paddle shifting, you have down here where you can put this in kind of a semi-manual mode by just hitting over, and it drops it straight down. Now, if you have this in eco mode and you push this over to manual, it will definitely give you all full 8 gears that this car has, and it will automatically put you in sports mode. So that is the Lexus RC. Is it for everyone? No. Is it for sports enthusiasts? Yes. Is it for people who want to get out of the everyday luxury mindset of Lexus and jump into something new to try? Guaranteed. If the sport mode and sport plus mode is really not down your lane, you can just get one that's not an F-type. If you just love the body style, it's worth it. If you just love the drive, it's worth it. The suspension and all, it's everything. The curvature of the body style itself, and just overall Lexus inspired and creation to just come up with taking different portions of their cars between the GS and the IS and cramming these things together to make this beauty. I think it's worth it. Thank y'all for sticking around on this. See you on the next one.